You've gone, since UCLA, like you'd only hit 3 3-pointers.
Yeah.
What felt good tonight? What was working?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good tonight. I mean, I know, maybe for my birthday, but I don't know. Yeah, but it was a special. But yeah.
She wasn't hesitating today. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It seemed like it didn't matter where you were getting it around the arc, you were hitting it down. It was just, they were just all going.
Yeah.
Anything else sort of get you? Did you feel good today? Extra good? Did you eat something great? Did you take some of Aries candy maybe before
No,
the game?
it's the same thing. Like, no, I feel good with my more airy, like shade double, and it's good.
Hey, Helena, with your size at 6'1" and perimeter, what does that do for the Arizona, your ability to shoot from the outside like that with your size?
I mean, I don't know.
She spreads the floor for us. She's a 40+% 3-point shooter, and so when I drive, everyone is collapsing. So she's open, Sam's open, Dominique. So with her ability to shoot, she definitely spreads the floor for us because they don't know who to guard.
And it seems like I keep looking at the stats again. You only had one steal, I think. Maybe not. I'm not sure. One steal. It seemed like you always had your hand on the ball. You were always tipping or getting deflections tonight. Did you feel that way? Did you feel like you just had a better eye a real good eye for where the ball was going today?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good, but it's always like looking the ball and like, yes.
She has a knack for the ball. So deflection, steals, blocks, that's her. So just having that instinct, so where the ball is, that's her.
What was the key to the second quarter?
I don't even remember the second quarter. But definitely just to take care of the ball, just to settle. We all were taking, like, really quick shots and threes and stuff like that. We wasn't really moving the ball. So just trying to have a great ball movement and not taking shots that the defense wanted, like us to.
It seemed like you just sort of, in the second, and then as the game wore on, you just sort of extended your lead and kept sort of that domination. And even as they started coming back a little, you guys were you had the game in hand. Again, did you feel that? Did you just feel like everything seemed to be working, offense and defense, for you today?
I wouldn't say the whole game. I think the first half, especially the first quarter, Washington was shooting probably like 48%. So we don't really like when our opponent is shooting that high of a percentage. And so we just had to adjust. We had to play that stingy defense that we play, and we just had to really buckle down. And we know that it starts with defense. So once our defense kicked up, everything fell into place.
How much does Sam have to do with that? She had 6 block shots.
Everything. Just like Helena, Sam has a knack for the ball. Like, just her timing is crazy. Like, her hands are everywhere. Like, she's a very active player. And so we need Sam in every play, honestly. But just credits to Sam with the blocks. Like, that's incredible.
When Helena and Amari are making shots like they are tonight, how dangerous is your team?
We're very dangerous. If everyone is hitting, especially those two, it's like, who do you guard? Do you guard me? Do you guard Amari? Do you guard Elena? So it's very difficult for the defense.
What does it do for you how much pressure does that take off you when your teammates are hitting shots like that?
It takes a lot off my shoulders. And just when they're hitting, like, I love that. Like, getting me assists, like, I love that. I love when my teammates score. And just, like I said, it'd be very hard for the opponent to guard us.
And it seemed also, I always kept thinking, like, Dominique has her hand on the ball all the time. She was tipping, she got a number of steals here, but it seemed, and I was like, did she get more rebounds than that? It just seemed like, especially as the game wore on in the fourth quarter, Dominique was all over it. Did you see that? Did you?
Yeah, I feel like Dominique doesn't get the credit that she deserves. Although she's not, like, scoring, like, being an offensive threat, on defense, she's making smart decisions. She's guarding people well, and she's just holding her own and always get deflections and very active as well. So I think that although she's not scoring, I think she's still being effective.
With only 5 games left in the regular season. What has Coach Barnes talked to you guys about the finish, seeing the finish line?
Just to not take your opponents lightly. Like, this conference has been crazy. Like, so many people have been upset, or so many teams have been staying with the ranked team. So just to not take your opponent lightly, and just motivation. Like, we know that we want the bye, so just we use that as motivation. Like, okay, we got to go hard. We have to win the games we need to win, and so that's just been like the key.
She brought up the NCAA tournament and all, or we're having to kind of string wins together at the end here to strengthen your seed or anything like that?
I think that we're taking it one game at a time. Obviously, that's the goal, and just to get into the tournament and win, but we're just taking it one game at a time.
How's it for you playing Washington? I know like their coaching staff is completely different, their players are completely different, but is it still kind of weird to play against your former school?
Yeah, it's very weird. Just seeing the girls that I came in with freshman year and playing against them, like, it's crazy. But I mean, it's a battle. It's a tough game and physical, like you've seen.
It's pretty hard to believe that you've swapped places.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you.
What did you think about the way your team came out in the game that you said earlier this week you guys need to win?
Yeah, I thought that we came out like okay offensively, but I thought not really good defensively. They were shooting 49% or 48% in the first half, so that's not the defense we like to play, but they're also hitting some tough shots. I felt like we were in rotation a lot. Like, we couldn't contain the ball. We were constantly getting driven on rotation, then open threes. So we talked about that at halftime and made some adjustments to be better defensively second half. Helena was awesome. Helena's back. She's back. She was on vacation, siesta for a little while, but she came back. That's the way she can play all the time. She's a phenomenal shooter. She's so smooth. She's so unselfish. Like, that's the way I expect her to play every game. I thought she was incredible. It was her birthday yesterday, so hopefully she didn't go out. But, yeah, she came in focused and loose today.
He's hitting, and Amari's also hitting. I mean, what does that do for your offense?
It makes us better, and I think it's harder to play a zone. It's funny, though, because we played pretty well against the zone. We didn't really show that today. But teams are playing us a lot of zone. I mean, a lot of 3-2. We're seeing a lot of zone. We saw that the whole weekend in Oregon. We saw that today. I don't think we'll see it as much on Sunday, but we're at least shooting the ball better. I think we were 9 for 18 from the 3. That's good for us. But I thought like the first quarter we settled for the 3 too much, and we weren't getting the ball inside. But I thought overall it was a good team effort. 4 people, I think, in double digits, right? Yeah, that's good.
How ironic do you think it is that you and Washington have flipped places in the league?
I think it's great. It's what I expected. I didn't think it'd be any different. I think after the changes at Washington and, losing your best players, obviously any program you lose 2 All-Americans, then you lose your best, returner. I think it takes time. But, it's a process. It's just like when I came here, I think very similar when, Washington took the job as when I came here. It takes time to build. And now it's in the 4th year. We're just better. But it's the climb. I mean, the rebuilding takes time, and now we're on the climb. It takes time. And then in a couple of years, it's probably going to be the same process because, Ari's here 1 more year, then she leaves. You have to rebuild again because it's hard to replace someone like Ari. So I think that process is always evolving. That's why you're always recruiting the next player. That's what.
Sorry.
That's good.
Were you shocked there a little bit by the crowd? Valentine's Day, Thursday night game, unranked team, and it was a pretty big crowd tonight.
Yeah, I thought, I was a little bit surprised because Friday night at 7, it's kind of for moms and it's for parents, it's late. But I was surprised because it's opening night for baseball, and I think there's a softball game. So I thought with all those things, I think softball was a little earlier, but I thought with all those things, we'd probably have like 5 or 6. I think we had a little over 6. So I think that's really good for tonight. And I think that shows just Tucson supporting us. I think there's going to be a lot more people on Sunday. And it's Girl Power Day, and capes are being given out. So I think there will be a better crowd.
Kate came out early, and it seemed like she came out a few times. Was she not feeling well today, or?
No, she was feeling well. I think this just some assignments. Post players that have to guard shooters, it's kind of tough sometimes. So I think she was getting a little bit lost with the shooters. And so we brought her out a couple times just to talk to her about the movement and just for her to adjust better and how to guard a particular type of screen that was hurting us. And then she went back in. But I thought Kate had a really good game, too. I thought her and Darcy Reese were kind of going at it. Their bodies flying, and it was funny because one time on the court, Kate runs and then she stops and sticks at her butt, and then Darcy did the same thing. So I think that's a healthy competitive thing.
Do you think Sam has a good shot at the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year?
Well, I think so. Sam's defense now it's being recognized more, but I think she's just so underrated. There's so many things that Sam does that don't show up on the stat sheet. I always say that. So today she had a whole bunch of tips that led to steals on top of her blocks. But I think a lot of the stats that she gets, it doesn't show because of that, because she is like the deflection that leads to Aries' steal. I think Aries' defense is just a lot more evident because it's on the ball. She's so fast. But I think if you pay attention and know that in Sam, you watch her lock down every game. I think, and people are doing that now, I think you appreciate that because there was at least probably 12 points in transition that Sam saved. Whether it's getting deflections or blocking shots, I think she had 6 blocks. I mean, she's a phenomenal defender. And I don't know how. I feel like now she's more confident, so I feel like she's swatting more shots. And I mean, Sam's 5'11", and she's not like 6'3". I mean, so she's a phenomenal defender. I hope she's up for Defensive Player of the Year, and there is no doubt in my mind that she's all defensive team for sure. I just hope that because of how she's in position, and it's not on the ball stealing all the time. So I think it might be overlooked because of that, but I hope not because I'm going to push her. I think she's a great defender. Without her, it's hard for us to win.
When you were on the staff at Washington, did you ever have the notion that maybe you could replace Mike Neighbors someday?
I didn't ever think about that. I think for me, I was so early in my coaching career, and I just had a baby, so it wasn't even a thought on my mind. My mind was like getting into coaching, how I could be the best assistant ever. My focus was that in recruiting, and we had Chantel, we had Kelsey, we had such a great team, so it wasn't even my thought. And I honestly didn't think Nabes would leave that fast, so it wasn't really a thought. I think I was more surprised when I went to Washington than he left. I think it would have been different if I was there and Neighbors would have left to Arkansas. I think that would have been a different situation because honestly, like for a while, that was really where I wanted to be because it was like my second home because I had been in Washington 14 years. So I hadn't lived in San Diego since 1994. So that was like my base. I had a foundation. I did broadcasting with the Storm. So at the time, I had just bought a house, just did construction on a house for a year, had Mateo, and then I came here. So I didn't really see myself out of Washington. But now I'm in a better place, so I like this weather a lot better in Arizona. But it's amazing. All the Washington players are tan. I'm like, how are you so tan? It doesn't, there's no sunshine. And I was giving them a hard time. But no, I'm happy here. I think it's more special here because it's my alma mater. So for me, it's a happy place. There's so many familiar faces. Like I talk to my friends outside. Their parents used to go on trips with us, and they were small. So now they're grown with their own kids. So that's like the family that is here in Tucson. So it's unique to any other place. I mean, you've been knowing me since I played, college ball. So it's just a little bit more special here because of that.
You guys are so close to 15 years. You guys have been in the NCAA tournament, and you only have 5 games left. Ari said you guys are taking it one game at a time. But how hard is it to not see that in the horizon, in addition to the seeding in the Pac-12?
I mean, it's funny because I do see that. Like I don't talk about that to the team, but as a staff, we talk about it, and it's, I just don't want to think too hard about it because I know we have to get wins. So I just think about that. But it's funny because if you would have asked me like a year ago or at the beginning of the year, hey, are you going to have a big NCAA watch party? I would have said, hell no, because you don't want to have a watch party and maybe not get in. I was like, no, it's going to be a private watch party. But I think if we're in a better situation, like we have potential to be in now, I'm going to have a huge watch party because I would be pretty positive we're going to get in. I haven't felt like that here. So I wouldn't have thought we'd be in a situation where we know we're going to be in for sure. And we're not there yet because we have 4 games to go, or 5 games to go. But there's a really good chance that we take care of business. So I just try to narrow our focus and think one game at a time. And it's funny because Derek on radio asked me, he said, did you think that this game was going to be a struggle because of the big win last game? And it's funny because I forgot that was just a week ago. To me, it feels like that was 2 weeks ago. Like I forgot that we just were in Oregon State. I was thinking that was a couple weeks ago because this has been a pretty long week. So I didn't even realize that wasn't even a thought. I just knew Washington plays well, so my focus was let's just play well, not even thinking about being high and low. So we're playing a really good team on Sunday. Like we celebrate tonight, we focus tomorrow. It's good. I didn't have to play a lot of players tons of minutes. So I was able to manage them better for Sunday because Sunday's gonna be a tough game too. And then we go to the mountains. Those are always tough trips. And then we end with Cal and Stanford, or Stanford and Cal. So that's gonna be. We're in a good situation.
Did you ever imagine, like even at the beginning of the year, that it's February 14th, and you would have won your 20th game of the season?
No, I would not have believed you at all if you said that. Honestly, I would have thought probably. Could we win 20 games? Yeah. I wouldn't think right now we'd have 20 wins. If you would have said, Adia, do you think your only 4 losses will be against 2 against Oregon, 1 UCLA, 1 Oregon State? I would have said, there's going to be a couple more. I would not have believed you. I really wouldn't have. I mean, would you guys have? No, I mean, that's not. But we're playing with confidence and we're getting better. I think we're a lot better than we were a month ago. I hope you guys see that. I feel like we're better and we're continuing to get better. But now it's just bringing some other people along. I got to figure out a way to play a little bit deeper and bring people along. But if you would have even told me that there's a possibility of having a bye, if you win a couple more games, you could have a bye at the Pac-12 tournament, I would have said, I don't know about that. So these are situations I didn't think we'd be in this year.
Any other questions?
No. Cool. Thanks.
Thank you.